Trigger warnings for episode 13 include grief, memory loss, mycophobia, mention of needles, PTSD, and discussions of death. A list of the topics, themes, and subject matter featured in this episode can be found in the description. We return to the last Arcanist here as we find everyone starting to make their way to this little opening, this little space here within the Whispering Woods. You're not too far in at this point, but a night of rest is certainly upon you all after traversing through that span of the kind of the last part of the Scarlet Dunes where you encountered that acid burrower and then found yourselves in the Whispering Woods where some of you experienced very intense memories. At first, some not so good, and then later on, as Arinthus was freed, thanks to Cordy's help, some happier memories. But as you all start to find yourselves coming back together here, are there any conversations, or what do we find everyone doing kind of in this moment as we fade back in on our lovely heroes here?
Bird.
I hear the word. I think Doc would go up to Thessalus.
Oh.
Where's Thessalus at this moment?
I think he's been thinking about a lot, as I'm sure we all are. I think he's still somewhat recovering from his nightmare. And I think he's kind of going back and forth a lot on the decisions he's made since he woke up and trying to figure out what they mean to him, I think. So I think he's just kind of sitting probably a little ways away, trying not to be in anyone's way, but seems as approachable as anyone else.
I think Doc will come up to you, look up at your tall figure, and and go, "Hi, how are you doing?"
Hello, little one. I don't know.
That's fair. I couldn't help but hear the conversation earlier. Well, I mean, I was in the conversation, so of course I heard it. But, about hope and, I guess, you not feeling it?
But hope is a complicated thing. I think, well, everything's changing, but I think for most of my life, most of what I remember, it was never really up to me what happens next, or I don't know, my days weren't mine. I spent them fighting whoever I was supposed to, and when I won, I had more. But there wasn't necessarily something to look forward to. And as I lost myself in that, I think I got used to the repetition and found value in my skill. And then there's some time, and I died, like all of us. And now I'm back. And the world is dark. And the stars are gone. And it's hard to think. I mean, many of you seem good and have something to come back for. And maybe I do too, but I'm not sure.
I think Doc thinks for a second and then looks back up and says, I'm not quite sure what it is I came back for. I think I'm still figuring that out. But I do know that the little hope that I have, most of it was given to me today. And I might not know a lot about who I was or the world that we used to live in or the one that we live in now. But I know that every time you have your helmet off and I see you look at Elanor, I see the hope in your eyes.
Sorry if seeing my face tricked you into thinking I'm something more than I am. I hide it for a reason.
I'm sure I've been tricked many times. I'm sure I've been lied to many times. But there's something that is eternally true about real care and real tenderness. I think in reality, the only person who has been tricked is yourself. To think that there is no tenderness in you.
I don't know if I can believe that.
Well, I hope that one day you do.
Thank you, Doctor.
You can call me Yara.
Thank you, Yara.
And I think Doc just walks away.
Is there gonna be a moment where on Doc's character card it switches?
I think so.
Is that happening right now? Right now before our eyes?
Right now it just flips over.
Right now it does, because we're recording. Yeah, this is live.
Whoa, did you all see that? Look at the name change.
I know,
right?
Whoa. Wow, that's
Kylie,
crazy.
that was so cool. I love the way you
That's
edited
insane.
that.
Whoa.
That was
Yeah,
so
it's a
cool.
Yeah. I use my
It's a
stream deck. Amazing. So as you say that to Thessalus, you use a different name than what everyone's been calling you, Yara. We see Doc turn around. Thessalus still sitting there by himself. We kind of push away. What is Cordy up to in this moment?
I think
What is Cordy thinking about?
I think Cordy is sitting in the same place where he was, just kind of levitating that cinder stone, and just like kind of playing with it a little bit. Yeah, I think he's just thinking on that that conversation with Thessalus, and what he said to Thessalus, which is like, aren't we the hope for everyone else? And I think that Cordy is kind of starting to believe that himself, especially after seeing the far away. And I think he's he's seen his drive.
Mm-hmm.
Real quick, whenever appropriate, I think Thessalus would like to approach Cordy after that conversation, but
Sure.
Okay.
doesn't be anytime soon.
If Cordy ain't doing nothing else, you can do it now.
Before Thessalus comes over, I will say, as Cordy is kind of using levitation to keep the Cinderstone afloat, Philip crawls on your shoulder and goes. He's just looking at this. He's just looking at the Cinderstone very hungrily.
Let me waste my Cinderstone on a team up with Philip.
His eyes extend out of his head. He's just staring at it,
You
enthralled.
just transform the enemy into a rag and then
Yeah.
loose.
Yeah.
No, Philip. This seems important. I know.
He crawls back.
I know.
He crawls back down your shoulder in reverse as we see Thessalus approaching Cordy.
Yeah, I think after spending a moment or two to think, I think that the conversation with Yara kind of steals his mind a bit, and he sort of stands, having made a decision, and will walk over to Cordy.
Oh, hello.
Hello, Cordy. I wanted to... Well, perhaps an apology isn't the right word, but I wanted to maybe find an understanding on our previous conversation.
All right. I would agree an apology is not necessary. We can differ in our beliefs, but I will say, Thessalus, before you say anything, I can see that it must be hard for you to think of hope when you have had none. It was not by choice, but I saw.
Even if I didn't know it at the time, it, I guess, is nice to know someone else was there. I have never really worked with trust before. It serves little purpose somewhere where you only know those you will eventually kill or die to. And I've often said that to trust me is a mistake. But whatever it means, it means something to me that you said you would trust me. And I want to extend whatever my version of that is, I guess, back to you. In the order in which they are valuable to me. I would kill for you. I will die for you. And I would face my fears for you.
Well, I wouldn't ever ask you do such things. But it's nice to know the sentiment is there in return.
Thank you. There's a concept in Kaliavin in the pits. A style of battle. Twin blades. It's when two warriors who are known for their skill, or at least their popularity, are chained together set against a superior foe, expected to die. But if they survive, it is a great victory. I've mentioned one before who, if he still exists in any form, I hope to fight and end the battle he started. But
And I will help you do it.
Thank you. He was my twin blade at the time he cut me. And that is a betrayal unlike really any other.
It seemed that way. You speak of a lack of trust, but I could see it in your eyes with him. I understand why you would be wary.
Being careful and striking first has kept me alive. But I have been learning these past weeks that things work differently outside of the pits. Death and life isn't quite as cheap as I always thought it was. And perhaps trust isn't either.
Well, it's an interesting concept, this twin blade you speak of. Think of us, the 6 of us, tied together. Ocularis and the Tenebris, the superior force. I'd like you on my side if you have experience with such a thing.
And I would be happy to die by yours.
Thessalus, I wish for you that, you realize the freedom you now have. And I hope you use it.
Thank you.
We're all good, I think, right?
I do feel a bit better.
Good. I do as well. Well, that was a tense conversation for a moment, but we got through it, didn't we?
Sure did.
Well,
I'm gonna go find my seat again, I think.
well, I've got one right here if you need it.
Thank you. And I think Thessalus will kind of sit beside Cordy instead of returning to where he was before.
As he does, I think Cordy, having still throughout this entire conversation been floating this Cinderstone around, kind of passes it over to Thessalus.
Yeah, I think he'll kind of take it.
It's warm.
Unsure of what to do with something that isn't all that it seems.
Orinthus gave this to me. I've been
Do you
looking it over for a little bit.
do you know what it is?
I have an idea, and I think you'll use it better than I will. After all, you still have a twin blade.
Right. I would be happy to hold on to it for you if you so wish. But if you need it again, All you need to do is ask.
Cool. That sounds like a good deal.
What do I do with it?
I just realized you never
I think-
explained it.
Yeah. I think Cordy just kind of looks at Thessalus and puts his hand on his shoulder and goes, "You'll know when the time comes."
Comforting. We'll just kind of, he doesn't really have pockets. So we'll just kind of hold it. Appreciating, I think, both the kind of whatever version of friendship Thessalus can feel in this moment, and the kind of warmth from that, and also from the stone in his hands.
Amazing. So I think as we see the two of you sitting together, having a little moment, we'll shift away from Cordy and Thessalus over to Róisín. What's Róisín up to? Where do we find Róisín doing in this moment after you came back without Hugo a while ago?
Róisín just takes a look to the left and a look to his right hand. Sighs. The dog isn't here. And just walks over to take one and a huff.
Are you upset the dog's gone? The wolf?
Yes, I am. I quite like the
You're
wolf.
shrugging your
I was
shoulders.
hoping I could have a wee bit more time to cuddle it.
Well,
You see that Elanor
Perhaps
has a
we'll-
wee crow now.
I know I saw. It's good though.
Everyone's
It's
getting wee
important that we-
pets, and I feel so jealous.
Jealous? Róisín, jealousy is an ugly emotion.
I know, but doesn't the color green look fabulous on me anyways? Pairs well in my eyes.
I think she just puts her hand on his shoulder and she says, "Oh, Róisín. Well, I mean, green does look good on you, so."
Oh, I thank you.
Mm.
It's
See.
fine. It wouldn't last long enough for me anyways.
Well,
There's been a wee change in plans.
what do you mean by that?
We'll have to make a wee bit of a detour on our way out of the woods. My aunt is in residence in a castle near here. We shall have to make our introduction.
A detour? We are on a deadline, Róisín.
Yes, well, it's somewhat along the way. And more importantly, I need confirmation on something from her. For fear of something
Alright.
worse later down the line.
What are your concerns if you're willing to share them with me?
I'm concerned on the nature of my remaining kin. I had hoped that they had perhaps escaped into that plane beyond where Cordy's friend lies, but from what Tarentus could tell me, it appears that time has not been good to them. Save for my Aunt Ka.
Róisín, if the Twilight in Ocularis has twisted them in a way,
I am aware of the gravity of the situation. We've all seen what me and the worst of spirits can do, and not even now I'd want to imagine what Ocularis could do with something like that. But sevenfold, or 6 should Ka remain in good spirits.
right? All right. Well, we should discuss this with the others. I think she would pull you away from the main group for a moment to have a bit more private of a conversation. And she would say to Róisín, what happens if this... Are you in control? Are you going to be able to... I need to know this, Róisín. We have to... Remember what we talked about. I need you in control.
I am in perfect control of myself, Tegwin. There is a moment of weakness, aggravated by the workings of a fellow Fae against me.
All right.
So long as I remain on a proper feeding schedule, as I shall now be, everything shall be hunky-dory and right as rain.
All right. Well, if things are reaching a point that are dire with you, please let me know, if you could. There's much more at stake, Róisín.
I cannot feed from you.
Right.
No need to worry, though. I have a few fancy ideas of my own. And quite a few ways to resolve this wee situation of ours, so...
All right.
It'll be fine.
All right, Róisín. Well, I suppose then we should bring this detour bring it to the rest of the group. Be best to make sure everyone is on board.
Sounds good to me. After you.
Right.
Here, Arcanist.
I think, because we haven't really touched on it, I think you would see, as you look at Tegwin, she has a bit of crow's feet now, the edges of her eyes. And again, some more kind of silver streaks in her hair, scattered about now, as she turns around and walks back. To meet with the rest of the
She
group.
will just quietly take note of that and follow behind.
Yeah. Yeah, she walks forward. And I think at that point, I know Hugo is heading back, and then Elanor was as well. Yeah, Elanor. Your little bird.
Yeah, this is the bird.
Bird.
Unless someone wants to talk to me, bird.
Bird. I think as she walks back over, Tegwin would say, everyone, there's a couple of things that we need to discuss. Róisín has something that he wanted to bring up to everyone in this moment, if we could all gather round. And she would turn to Róisín and let him give his pitch.
So, according to our dear new friend, Corinthians, I have family nearby and I would quite like to visit them. It'd just be a wee detour at the edge of the forest. Nothing too drastic or dire.
I'm sorry, you want us to stop on our important journey on a deadline that we have for a family visit?
Wouldn't you like to see your family?
No.
Well, you're a bit of a unique case. Hugo, wouldn't you like to see your family? You could.
And Hugo at this point had been kind of sitting back and sewing the rip that they had made on their hand earlier, because with everything that had happened, they had forgotten about that. I don't remember my family, so I don't really have an opinion, but I wouldn't disagree that it's important to see our family.
Your family will be there when we return, though, won't they?
Who's to say? Plus, I feel as though they may have some useful information for us.
More useful than our, honestly, shrinking time advantage.
It's only a day. At most,
I don't know if we
even.
can spare it.
We may even just be passing by it on our way out. I haven't taken a proper look at the map to see.
Where
Can I? Whoops, sorry, you
where
go.
exactly is your family?
I believe my aunt is currently taking up residence in the Onyx Citadel, if I'm correct.
Yeah, and I do want to make note that I believe in an earlier episode I said the Obsidian Citadel. It is actually that I'm going to fix that. It was Onyx. It is supposed to be the Onyx Citadel. So just to make note of that, if you had that differently. Also, audience, if you heard me say Obsidian, it's actually Onyx Citadel. I wanted to correct that.
Kylie, can I do an insight check to see if Róisín is withholding information? Because I think Elanor is a little skeptical about how casual this is.
a little suspicious.
Yeah.
Also,
Yeah, I'll let you.
I
I'll-
don't remember
okay.
who it was that Orinthus also mentioned. The Onyx,
The
Mhm.
like, tower to, but Orinthus mentioned to someone else, and I'm trying to go through
I think
my
he
notes.
also said it to the group, like the proper, like there was something in Valinor.
Was it to us properly? I don't
No,
think
it
so.
wasn't to the group properly.
Mm-mm.
Is this an instinct?
This will be an instinct. Yeah, so it would be actually you would make an instinct you would make an instinct action roll, and then
Yes.
Róisín would get to make a presence reaction roll against your whatever you roll.
Okay, I am also going to use my experience. I can see you, so I'm going to spend a hope to get that.
Okay. I love when people insight check their or instinct check their party members. It's it's one of my favorite things.
I spend a hope to help.
Yes. How are you helping in this moment?
As much as obviously I'm not technically spending an experience here, but I think that using it as part of the flavor, I think Thessalus is kind of getting used to thinking a bit like Elanor again, and kind of realizing how often they're thinking the same thing, even if they don't necessarily say it to each other. And so I'm thinking of my experience of One Mind / Twin Blade. And it's more that I think he's standing, or I guess probably still, it depends on if we've all gotten up, but he's kind of in the same area, feeling that same kind of questioning moment and trying to look for something as well. And if he would notice, that would be visible to Elanor, as he's kind of, that tension would be visible and a lot more recognizable probably on his body than on Róisín's.
Amazing. And then, so I would say absolutely you can give the help action. So spend a hope, get the extra
Will do.
D6, Elanor, and then
Okay.
Hugo, you had something too.
It's just from my notes. It was after the conversation of with that Orinthus had with Cordy. I don't know if it was said to Cordy or to the group, but Orinthus warns of the Tyrant Queen in the Onyx Citadel.
Mhm.
Oh, we all were
Yeah.
there for that, weren't
Yeah,
we?
that's
I think that was with with
Okay.
everybody.
yeah, that's
That's
why
what I
I
thought.
remembered
Okay, cool.
that. I was like, I swear.
Cool.
Thanks, Angie.
And he mentioned
Okay.
shape-shifting tenebrous working for her.
Oh, yeah.
Mhm.
Okay,
And-
cool. All right, here we go. Ooh, okay. 12 plus 3 is 15, plus 2 is 17 with hope.
Did you roll the D6 too from?
Yeah.
Okay, so 17 with hope. Okay. Róisín, go to make a presence reaction roll for me to try and beat a 17.
Cool. Can I rally myself?
You absolutely can rally yourself in this moment.
Brilliant. In that case, I'm also going to spend a feed point to turn my fear die into a d20.
Nice.
Oh my god.
So I'm nice and
Good
well
roll on
fed.
that one.
Good.
Let's see, and you know what? I'll do the thing again for.
No,
What's it
what'd you
called?
get? What'd you get?
I haven't rolled yet. I'm looking at what things I can add to this. Heart of a poet. I'll spend a hope to add a d4 to this.
Oh my gosh. Stacks on
Róisín is-
stacks on stacks.
Homie is trying to lie so hard.
paradise to add to Eleanor's.
Yeah, give me your paradise.
Or you can add mine.
Technically, there's
No.
no lies. There's just information being omitted. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Give me
Róisín
that
doesn't
paradise.
lie.
Give me
That's
that
the
paradise.
crazy thing. Róisín
Yeah.
does not lie.
That's a lie by omission.
I want that paradise.
No, dude.
Give me that
You are
paradise.
not going to make this.
Give me that paradise.
This is really good for Thessalus' trust.
Ooh. Dude, you're not going to make
great.
this.
What'd you get?
Yeah, I rolled nearly max and everything.
What'd you get?
That's a 12 plus 13 is a 25. Plus 6 is 31. Plus
How
4
many-
is 30.
How many paradise am I allowed to have?
It's 34.
I don't have that
Yeah, 35.
many. My paradise.
Plus 3 is
hold on.
38.
My paradise.
How many paradise do you
I
have?
get 2d4 and I roll them at the beginning of the session. I rolled a 3 and a 1. It's like important.
So that is
it's like
a
important
38
dice.
with
It's essentially
fear.
like important
Damn.
rolls, yeah.
I'll take my
Okay.
fear.
Whew.
But we all do remember earlier when we were told
Oh, yeah.
that the
Yeah, of course.
This is gonna make it worse for Róisín. I was rolling to help you with Elanor, but now, sorry, bestie.
I know, but
I
I,
love
get
you,
so few
Thomas.
times where I get to really use my abilities.
So 38 with fear. So yeah, you.
Holy
Well, actually, it doesn't matter. Yours is a reaction roll, so that doesn't even.
Oh,
fear
true. The
doesn't
fear
even-
doesn't
Ah.
matter.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, man, I
Nice.
should totally use that then. Yeah.
At least I get my hope back for that.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
So what does Elanor see? Is she like kind of? I think she
Yeah.
kind of like, as Róisín is saying this, thinking back to what Orinthus said to us. Her face is very like.
You just look deep into Róisín's eyes, trying to figure out what is going on behind them, and he just gives a nice wink.
And she will promptly smile back and she'll go, "Your family can wait until after our mission is done then." I say no.
Ooh.
After all the kindness that I showed you and you released your monster for everyone to see, am I not owed the same compassion in turn?
I don't mean to butt
You don't
in.
know the half of the monster inside of me.
I don't mean to butt in this very obviously tense moment. But isn't there like an evil person running that place?
That's partially what I want to investigate.
Oh,
From what I
now
heard
it comes
from-
out.
From what I heard from Orinthus, my aunt was uncorrupted. And by all means, titles come and go. People have such fun with them. Honestly, you should see some of the epithets that I've heard over the years.
Wait, are you saying your aunt is the evil person?
I don't know, that's what I'd like to find out. All I know is that she's taken up residence there.
Do you ever just get to the point quickly? Because I feel like if you had just said, "Hey, my aunt might be this evil person who's controlling some Tenebris and is like hanging out in this wicked place," I'd be inclined to say yes.
I enjoy the
However-
dance.
However, no, I don't. Not when we're on a time crunch. And there are other things that we have to do.
I agree. This sounds like when we're back, maybe on the return journey, if there is one.
It's along the way.
Right, but it's potentially sieging a castle or
We
deposing
won't be
some kind
sieging
of
a castle or
corrupted-
having to depose anyone. It's just going to be a short visit, a nice rest for the night along the way.
You have no way of knowing that.
You have no way of knowing otherwise. And from what I've heard
I
from
don't.
Orinthus, I was told that all would be well.
And I think I've made my stance there clear.
I think
Doctor,
a doc looks at
if you could see your family, someone that you remember, would you not want the opportunity to see them again?
Who are my family?
I was speaking to the doctor, Thessalus.
Oh, you're asking Yara?
Kiara, that's a beautiful name.
I think
Do you remember that?
I think in this moment, seeing it's just like
Oh, that's
the parents
amazing.
are fighting. I think I think I fully look up at Hugo and Cordy. Like, what do y'all feel?
Well, I was there when Arinthis explained to Róisín the situation, and it does seem as though if his aunt has become something I don't even know what to call it. It would be better to take care of it than to leave suffering on the land. I don't know. I could not say when.
And if not, what a powerful ally we shall have.
Róisín, while I did not hear specifics about your aunt, I did I think I will switch to a telepathic bond with Róisín really quick. I did hear the trepidation in Orinthis's voice regarding your kin. And I do think, as I have just had discussions with some of these members, that trust is a thing that we as a group must have. This is not going to work.
Knowledge
It's
is
okay if
power,
you
my dear
are-
Cordelius. I should like for us to have more of it.
I agree. So give them knowledge.
I must consult with my aunt about the remaining members of my kin to see what state they're in following the unraveling.
Is that allowed to the group or just to Cordy?
That is to everyone.
If we don't take care of it now, I am a bit afraid that, I don't know, perhaps we'll come across another of Róisín's kind that would not
But we
take
know
our
for
side.
certain that what awaits us where we are going. We know for certain that where we are headed, there is a deadline. And there are things that need to be taken care of. Róisín, I understand the need to see your family. But creating presumptions of the possibility of good when it could also possibly be bad would only add to the difficulty of our journey. I don't think anyone here is disagreeing or forfeiting the chance to see your aunt. We are just completely aware of what we are facing in the coming days from one end. We have no knowledge aside what Orinthis gave you and what you are assuming could be there. And assumptions could get us killed.
Do not preach to me about necessity. I understand what is necessary more than anyone else here. You may think you understand necessary evils. You cannot fathom what is truly necessary at times. You haven't lived through what I have, time and time again.
And yet we all died together.
They didn't. I'd like to see.
honestly, part of me thinks you've lived too long to realize how unimportant we are here. Our job is to stop this. I mean, I don't even know that much about it, but I heard a creation of a new domain, whatever that means, and these people working to raise titans that should have stayed buried the same as us. We and our families just don't really match up, no matter how long they've been around.
Trust me, I am not young enough to presume that I know everything. Still, if we're going to face against gods, then why not fight? Find an ally who has been worshipped as one from time to time. Or at
Because
least
there's
the
a
closest thing possible.
chance that she's alive because she made a deal with Ocularis.
And we shall find out.
I don't want to find out.
Okay, guys.
I'm
There's
happy
going
to
to be-
find out, but later.
Plenty more of that. How do you think Varenthar is still alive? How do you think that man who destroyed these woods, and she gestures around, who took my voice, is still alive?
To be fair, my kind are a wee bit more longer lived.
I think
The possibility of them remaining
And
alive
yet,
and without a pact.
and yet,
And yet I would like that clarified.
I would like to have it clarified that you also died.
Trust me that I did.
That's my point. We have so many what ifs in this situation.
And I would offer certainty on one of them.
I don't want that certainty, not if we're not ready.
Guys, I understand there's a lot of tension. I think what we know currently is that we have a mission with a specific time that it needs to be completed by. We don't have much time. Róisín, there's nothing in this world that I wouldn't do to see my family again, to see my sisters and my father. There's nothing in this world that I wouldn't give to do that. But we only have a certain amount of time to get where we need to go. We can do both, but I think it's more pertinent that we see your aunt on our return trip. We will find what happened to your kin.
Perhaps our actions in these places affect our situation. Perhaps we make it better.
Can we all hug each other?
I was going to propose a vote.
Can we vote then hug each other? Just let each other know that we're all we fucking have at this point. We're not going to get that far. We're not going to be able to accomplish what we need to accomplish if we're not honest with each other completely, and if we keep arguing with each other.
I had a long conversation with Thessalus about trust. I think we need to make sure we all trust each other. It's all we have.
I trust you guys.
I can't do a mission if I'm not told the information right off the bat. Had you have told us all of this ahead of time, I'd be more inclined to be on your side. I trust you, all of you. But if you're asking me to die for you, I'm not going to do it without knowing everything. You don't have to tell me your deepest, darkest secrets. I don't mean that. I mean in regards to, like, visiting family and all that. Please don't tell me your deepest, darkest secrets. I'm not.
Sure, they're fairly enticing.
I mean, I'm a good secret keeper, because duh. But
So, a vote?
Let us vote.
What are our options?
Yay or nay?
I say, instead of yay or nay, we deal with it now, or we deal with Róisín's aunt after. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when.
All right with that.
Very well. My vote is
Right.
now. That should be obvious.
Any others in favor?
I think
Sorry,
Cordy,
Róisín.
Cordy will look to Róisín. I'm sorry.
Oh, how you wound me!
Oh.
I think Doc looks up at Róisín and says, "We will find your aunt and your family." And then I think I like open my hand and I show my hand, and I think on my hand I've carved in the names Zuri and Kamara. And I say, "This is all that I have left of my family. I should not hope that you have nothing left of yours."
Thank you.
And I give you
Dear
my
Lord.
word.
Should be
And
very
my
careful about that
axe.
around me.
When we've served our purpose, perhaps we can look for ourselves again.
I'm well aware of what my purpose is. But very well. If this is a decision, then so be it.
We will
You're
find you
allowed to
answers,
come to
Róisín.
your misbegotten conclusions. I shall happily follow you all down such misbegotten paths.
We will find you answers, Róisín.
Yes, it's just I fear how the music shall shift because of this.
Isn't that
You
what
all
music
will
is
regret
supposed to do?
this choice, but I myself will regret it most of all.
Since music's supposed to shift, shouldn't stay the same tune all the time.
Yes, well, it's quite inconvenient for the dancers.
I myself like a good modulation.
I wasn't aware you were all that informed when it came to musical theory, Doctor. Or Yara, I should say.
Oh, yes, you can call me Yara now. About that hug?
Apologies
Who's
in that I feel perhaps a wee bit too thorny to be good companionship for a hug such as this.
Take
Know
one
that I
for
do
Jiro.
love all of you, each and every one. Deeply, truly, and sincerely, I love you all. But I just need a moment. And Róisín will
Understandable.
walk off by himself.
Okay. Róisín, as you walk off, I want to give the rest of the cohort here a moment. Is there anything anyone does in this moment as Róisín walks away? Or do you simply go to your space, wherever that may be, in this little clearing here, and start settling down for the night?
I think Elanor is actually going to give a tiny little bit of like trying to make eye contact with Hugo.
Are
Hugo's
we not
been...
going to hug like Doc asked?
I'm not a hugger.
I was going to say, I don't think any of us can do it first, but it feels sad to move fast.
No,
Someone
the
else
one
hug
hugger
first.
left. The one
No.
hugger
Yeah,
walked
the
away.
one whose love language is physical touch left.
No,
So-
I think as everybody walks away, Cordy will definitely go up to Doc and just like kind of look down and just bend down and give Doc a hug.
Oh.
Oh.
Reciprocate.
Yeah.
Dong, dong, dong. Love it.
We've got to keep this family together, Doctor. Oh, Yara.
Super dysfunctional family.
Very dysfunctional.
But yeah, I think before they all separate, Elanor will give just a momentary eye contact with Hugo just to check in.
Hugo's been kind of staring at the ground through that entire conversation, especially after Róisín snapped at them when they offered the explanation. So there's this sort of retreat back into this cocoon of theirs.
I think upon seeing this, Elanor will walk over and just, if Hugo will allow, put a very gentle hand to their face and kind of lift up Hugo's gaze to meet hers. And she's gonna give a very soft smile. Because she can't communicate otherwise unless Hugo opens it telepathically.
Yeah. No, I think they're for sure. I think the telepathic bond is open.
How can I be of assistance, Elanor?
I don't need you to be assistance right now. I just wanted to let you know that I'm proud of you.
Oh, well, for what?
You did a very good job earlier today, and I'm sorry I could not be of more of assistance.
It's all right. Seems I am, It seems I am of use in some degree.
You're always of use to me, Hugo, even when you don't think you are.
Right.
Your worthiness and my pride of you has nothing to do with how useful you are.
Speaking of trust,
Hugo's going to extend their arm out to Elanor, and the rip is still halfway being sewn up as Hugo allows the mushrooms to this sort of gnarly mycelial sprout kind of peek out.
I've known about this for some time, and I didn't feel comfortable enough to say something because I thought, what if I was corrupted? What if something was wrong with me? And then you all wouldn't trust me. So this is my very own secret.
Well, I do hope you know that even if you did think that you were dark or you did become dark, I would still protect you from yourself. I promised to protect you, and I will. I also said the same thing about Róisín. I would say the same thing about Cordy, Thessalus, Yara, even myself. In the spirit of truthfulness, and again, this will stay between us if you would like. I am requesting that what I am about to say stays between us, please. I know that after that whole conversation about trust and honesty, but I fear what I'm about to say will not go over well.
What's on your mind?
I saw a vision of my past. Of a man specifically. His name was Damon. I don't remember how. I know I can speak in the loose term of the word, of course, because of him. I know I was with him for some time, and I know that I did bad things for him, including stealing a book that may have once belonged to Cordy, that he is now asking me to help him find things about his research, to seek them out, and I may be the reason why they're lost. And I know that I was sent to the pits of Callioven, and I don't know why. And I fear the more that I learn about this man, the more I realize that some of the bad things that have happened to the others may have been directly or indirectly because of me.
Maybe it's just coincidences.
I don't believe in such. And he is still alive.
All right. Well, when the time is right, I'm sure you'll tell them, right?
I don't think I could.
I think we are different people from the people that we were before. It's hard to think of it that way as we go chasing memories and ghosts, whether they're alive or not.
I know I knew Thessalus before. I was shown us dying. And the problem is, the more that I connect the dots, the more I realize I never told Thessalus back then. And now 200 years have passed. I can't tell him now. Do you want me to help you finish patching this up?
I would appreciate the company, yes.
And she will pretty expertly, I'd say, begin finishing the stitching.
Amazing. So, as you share this with Hugo, help stitch them up, we're going to cut away from the two of you, and we're going to fade in on Róisín as you leave the group and wander off. Where do we find Róisín? What is Róisín doing in this moment?
Róisín has taken shelter in one of the treetops all by himself. Not too far away from camp, but far away than he can have just a wee bit of a semblance of solitude amidst it all. He's just resting in the shadows, licking his wounds. Because it stings. It does sting how everyone reacted, how everyone chose, the decisions they made after everything that Róisín has done. Because Róisín fundamentally is a giver. He is someone who gives and gives with every part of himself, and whether it was in combat or by the campfire, he's always someone who he's been there for everyone else. Whether it was in the early days when Doc needed comfort, and there's that moment where he reached out in inspiration, his wings wrapping around them. One of his feathers is even in Doc's cap from the moment they shared together by the Verglass. And Cordy, well, Róisín gave Cordy back his purpose, didn't he? Some of his roses still bloom on Cordy's shoulder. They are two souls bound together through their ill fate. Even Elanor, whenever Elanor was in the throes of her despair, shooting arrows over and over again into their nemesis, Róisín was the one that was there with her. Róisín was the one who helped pull her out, and they pulled each other out from that cave, and even after being impaled with stone, Róisín's first instinct was to wipe the tears off Eleanor's cheeks. Then there's Thessalus, who, before every battle, Róisín takes the time to help dress him, as Róisín has dressed many of his lovers over the years, help him into his armor, reach the latches that he himself can't reach. And then with Hugo, well, what else is there to say after today's events? So it stings that after all that Róisín has given, whether they recognize it or not, no one would repay a favor to him in turn. And he doesn't blame them, truly, because they're young. They're so young compared to Róisín. They can't understand what he feels, not really. They can sympathize, of course, but to truly empathize and understand, it's just, by the means of numbers, it's beyond their ken. Not even Tegwin really can relate. There's only about 8 other people in this world who could truly understand Róisín. 6 of them, he isn't sure. No, there's part of him that does know what's most likely happened to them, but he can't face that until it has become an absolute certainty. And there is one of them that's maybe half a day's journey away from here. Maybe a wee bit more, but in the grand scheme, that's just such a little bit of time. And yet, who knows what it'll even be like by the time that we can get back around to them. But his comrades that he loves chose otherwise, and Róisín is a slave to his fate and to his purpose, and so he will be a slave to their decision, as painful as it is. But even if there is just such a short distance away from them, I think Róisín, in this moment by himself, for the first time in a while, is going to breathe in, and he's going to sing. Sing in a language that only 8 other people in all of Atalantia might still remember the words to. He sings a lament 2 ages in the making of names that history and Róisín remembers all too well, as this melody sort of extends past him, past the tree, past the camp, even throughout these woods, with the hopes that maybe it'll reach that citadel. And it weighs down on Róisín, and it weighs down on the world around him. The weight of 2 ages of beautiful, unrelenting tragedy, to have loved and lost and lost and lost and lost again. Because he may be Róisín Dubois, and he may now be Róisín, last of the Lenan She.
And I think as that thought passes through Róisín's mind as you sit atop this tree, that's where we'll end episode 12,
Wow.
The Last Arcanist. And we will return with episode 13 as you all take a rest and continue onward to the Gloom Peak Sierras to try and stop whatever is happening there. Tune in next week as our group heads out of the Whispering Woods and makes their way northward to the Gloom Peak Sierras in hopes of stopping the Dread Domain from being created. But along the way, they stumble across an old town where one of their very own grew up. Tune in next time to The Last Arcanist, and until then, take it easy out there and come escape the mundane with us in the realms of Atalantia. Bye-bye!